Yeah, and I probably said this last week. I don't know if anyone caught it, but losing and having big wins, it's all the same. It's one and the same. You come off a loss, guess what? You got to learn from it, put it to bed, and get ready for the next opponent. You get a win, you got to learn from it, you got to put it to bed, and you got to get ready for the next opponent. So for me, and I hope I teach our young men that regardless, win or lose, we got to put it to bed on Sunday night in the next thing. And yeah, just like I said last week, you got to ignore social media. You know, one week they don't like you, next week they like you. So the bottom line is focus on the job at hand, focus on what we need to do each and every week. And so that's the message. And you got to be where your feet are. And, coming off a Tuesday practice, we had to go out and have a great Tuesday practice. Now our focus got to be on cleaning up that Tuesday practice the rest of the day and coming back and having a great Wednesday practice. It's that process that we spend a lot of time talking about the process, and the focus got to be us and what are the things we need to get better. We got a lot better from a tough loss the following week. Now we got to get a lot better from a win going into this week's game. So I tell them each and every week, we're not quite there yet. I think we're making improvements. I think this program is making the improvements. We're not there. We got to continue to work. We got to focus on the day, focus on the next opponent. So that message, regardless of wins or losses, that message, I don't know if I ever change on a Sunday.
But your defense is, I think, second in FCS, allowing less than 80 yards rushing. Just how good have they played, and what makes them so good?
Well, you're talking South Dakota. Ours. We've had the highs and lows. So, for me, until we can show that consistently, I don't think we're where we need to be. And we need to do that week in and week out. Can't do it for, I've thought all year coming out at halftime, our defense has really risen up. And even at Northern Iowa, I thought we did. They all of a sudden scored 20 straight points. Boom. Ohio State, second half, or Velpo or Robert Moore. So, knowing that it's a 4-quarter football game, but to consistently put that on the field, and it came down to the areas of improvement we needed to make was in our communication. It was in our focus. It was being part of 1 of 11 and being able to let plays go. Big plays are going to happen in a game. And to be able to put that play behind you and get ready to play the next play, that was the jump we needed to make from 1 week to the next. And when I say it's a process, do I believe in our kids that we can be a great defense? I can. I just want to see it day in, day out. I want to see it on Tuesday practice, a Wednesday practice, a Thursday, Friday, and then I want to see improvement the following Saturday when we play football. And I have all the faith in the world that our players can be a great defense. And every week in this league, guess what? You get to go earn it and get to go test it out, that plan to win each and every week. So.
Coach, over the weekend, Tyson won another conference. What have you seen from him week by week, and how better can he get?
Again, consistency, and the offensive line starts up front. I think Tyshawn would be the first one to say it starts up front. And I thought Dre was very explosive too. And both of them, we left a lot of yards on the field last week. We're still learning how to be patient, and sometimes being patient, we sometimes just want to jump out and think the outside's open. And to be patient and then let our offensive line really open those holes. We left a lot of yardage and a lot of points on the field Saturday night. And those are the areas we need to get better. But I think the combination of Dre and Tyshawn, I think great complementary football between both of them. And both of them, when they're exploding through that hole, some of them we stumbled a few times where if they stay on their feet, it's turning into a very big explosive play.
Do you think they're the best one to duo in this conference?
I haven't seen enough teams. You know, when I look, I thought Northern Iowa had a great running back room. I think Southern Illinois, you know, they had a guy hurt. I thought they had a great. I think the team we're playing this week has a very good running back room. They got 3 guys, and they put a redshirt freshman that I was very impressed with. You know, besides the 2 guys, Travis Tice. So this week, you know, I think it'll be a great challenge because I think we're seeing one of the best running back rooms this Saturday.
You talk about the, you know, the defense. You know, the offensive line is kind of quietly going about their business as well.
And that's, you know, the O-line, you know, we moved some pieces around, you know, moving Aiden to center and bringing in a redshirt freshman at left tackle and letting them gel. But, you know, those guys every day, when I say iron sharpens iron today, an inside run, I mean, you want to talk about pads hitting. I mean, our ones are going against our ones, and we're running our offense against our defense. And the pad level and the violence and the physicality that you see on a Tuesday practice, that's how you get better. And our guys understand, you know what, defensive line, we're going to make our O-line better. Our offensive line, we're going to make that defensive line better. And that's what you get as you go through a season. And it's not a lot of reps that we do, but when we do it and we put that ball down to get those plays in, you know, to me, sometimes that's the best preparation we can have each and every week, getting our mindset ready to play for Saturday.
You know, the offense has shown kind of a versatility in that being able to move the ball in different ways. And against you and I, you guys were able to throw the ball around instead of with 300 passing yards. And then with past week, leaning on the run game to kind of round out the game. You know, how did that offensive versatility differ from years past, and how did it kind of help you guys this season?
Well, it starts with players. You know, I believe we got great players. You know, it starts there, and then putting a system in that really accentuates what your players can do. And you know, going in, and we always talk about, you know, practice execution becomes game reality. And, you know, we started to see that last year, started to see it in the spring, starting to see it now. And we understand that each game's going to be different. You got to take what the defense gives you. You know, they want to walk down and put 8 to 9 guys in the box to stop the run. We got to have the, you know, a couple of years ago, they'd put 8, 9 guys in the box to stop the run. We couldn't pass a drop. And guess what? You're coming off the field punting the football. You know, so now you want to bring guys we feel we can get the ball downfield if you want to take those chances. You know, if they want to play pass heavy, I think you saw, you know, 3rd and 9, guess what? Sometimes we got to hand the ball off and trust our offensive line and trust our running backs that, you know, maybe we can get 9 to 10 yards instead of maybe taking a sack or throwing an interception or taking a chance there. So I think, you know, offensively, it's nice having those players that you have trust in your offensive line, trust in your running backs and tight ends, and trust in your quarterback and wide receivers, that no matter what you're calling, there's an opportunity for someone to make a play. And that's probably been the biggest difference. And I think our guys are confident when their number's called. You know, you play with one football. So to keep everyone happy, because you can only give it to one person. You know, whether it's running backs, whether it's wide receivers. And we got competitive guys. They want to touch the football. They want to make plays downfield. And they got to understand when your number gets called. You know, I thought at the end of the game on a 4th down, critical 4th down play, shoot, we're throwing the ball, it's raining, and, you know, we hit Max Tomczak right on the sideline. Max didn't have a lot of touches, but when his number was called, he made a play downfield.
The challenges this week of going to South Dakota.
I think any road focus, our kids understand it's hard going on the road in the Missouri Valley. We learned that last year. I mean, we were in dogfights every away game last year, you guys recall. Illinois State, Western Illinois, Missouri State, you know, that you got to go in because nobody's going to help you. You know, you don't have the crowd. Officials don't count on calls going your way. It's got to be a focus on you, that focus, that road focus we talk about. And sticking to that plan to win and being able to support one another, because you're in a hostile environment. So when things aren't going well, you got to lean on each other. You got to lean on your teammates. And, you know, that's the area we needed to grow most, I think, learning from that last road loss we had. So, you know, I'm anxious to get back on the road and seeing if we fix things. And we're going against a very solid, fundamentally disciplined football team that again, people in the beginning of the year didn't think, but I've always thought they've done a fantastic job. They're big, they're physical, they're fundamentally sound. They got the best scoring defense in our league. So each week brings a new challenge, and certainly we've never been to Vermilion, South Dakota. I haven't. Last time I think was 2019. So even our fifth-year guys probably weren't on that trip. And if you recall, that was an ugly football game. I think 59-14, because, again, those things can happen. So just getting locked in, focusing on what we can control, and then, having the mindset at 1:02 Central Time, you're ready to play football.
Obviously, every game in this league is important, but how important are these opportunities when you go against a ranked opponent on the road, when you're talking about building a resume, and at the end of the year, you're going to be judged against the blue bloods that are going to get the benefit of the doubt most of the time.
Yeah.
When you have these opportunities, how important are these games for your future plans?
And I know it's redundant. Every game's important. Those ones, they are. Last year, you didn't beat enough teams with a good resume. So, yeah, you have to beat teams that have winning records. They're 4-1. Their only loss was to Missouri. So, for us, I try to take the same approach no matter who we're playing. I don't look at rankings. I don't look because, gosh, anybody in this league can beat you on any given time. So I really try to deflect that with our kids. Yes, we're playing a ranked team. We're going to go on a Tuesday, and I'm going to give you as much information about the team we're playing. But ultimately, every week's about us. And what steps do we need to take as a program and as a football team, okay, and be able to go execute that on the road or at home. So I kind of, we'll study them Tuesday, Wednesday, but, by Saturday, it ultimately is about us and what we can control. And that's our execution, offensively, defensively, special teams, and having that brotherhood, being one of 11 and being able to have that focus for 60 minutes. And if we do those things, I sell the kitchen sink that, we do the things we need to do. When you walk off that field and look up at the scoreboard, you're going to be happy. You're going to get what your works deserve. You go in and make mistakes and turn the ball over and lose focus, and you're not staying together as a team. Those are when you walk off the field and you see you lost by 3 at Northern Iowa.
But you got 5 games in the books. What are you most, I don't want to say surprised about, but most pleased about after 5 games?
I'm always going to say our guys, handling the highs and lows. I got an emotional crew, so the constant teaching that every day, making sure that they're supporting one another, that they're working hard against each other to sharpen their skills. And I think it's that brotherhood. And I say it all the time, you got to win in the locker room before you could ever win on the field. And I see the most growth. I told you we had an experienced team. I wanted to see a mature team, and I'm seeing us mature through good times and bad times. And I told you, sometimes you need a little bad time. You do. Check yourself. Keep you humble. And, and I've always said this, not what happens to you, it's how you react. And to see our kids grow and mature last week and reacting to a difficult situation and coming back and having to play a team that was undefeated, ranked, coming in your place, I'm very proud of our young men for how they reacted. And now, same thing, put that to bed. How are you going to react this week of being able to be consistent and be able to try to do that again?